We are live. Yay. Welcome
Yay.
to 5D All Day
Yay.
and Spirit Calling. I'm Danielle Kane, and I'm the host of this awesome podcast on Spirit Calling. So glad to be here with my friends.
Woohoo.
We'll do a little introduction. Got some people still coming in. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Pamela, your hair looks amazing.
Thank you.
I love
I'm
it.
sorry. I was like so excited when I got on. I didn't know you were introducing, so I'm so sorry. Excuse me, please.
Oh, no, you're fine. We literally just pressed the go live button. So
Okay, good.
yeah, so you were right in the middle of my intro. Hi, Madeline. We're just going to go around and everyone can introduce themselves, and then we'll start talking about whatever it is that's on your mind. I have some ideas, but again, if there's a priority, we can go in that direction. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, so go ahead, Nicole. Why don't you lead us off today?
Okay, sounds good. So I'm Nicole Gibbs, and I've been with Spirit Calling for about a year now, and it's such a beautiful, great space to connect and have like-minded friends. So that's so good. I have created Awakening Mass Meditations, which is the thing that I'm doing. I create sound healings and have regular mass meditations on the 11th of every month. And I'm actually just kind of doing a lot more with the website now, which is really exciting, moving towards membership subscriptions and things like that to get the high vibe energy out to everybody. So I'm excited about what's to come in my journey and everything. I'm excited to share.
Wonderful. Amanda, you next.
Awesome.
Yay.
I'm Amanda. I've been part of Spirit Calling for 6-ish months, I think. The last few months have been taking a little dip off for me in participation, but super happy to be here. Nicole sent me a text earlier and was like, "Are you going to join 5D all day?" And here I am. So happy to be back and engaged in the community and just excited for today's
Wonderful.
call.
I love it. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right, how about it, Madeline? Why don't you do a quick intro for us?
My name is Madeline. I've been a member of Spirit Calling for several months now, and I really love it, and I really appreciate these meetings and things like that. I find them helpful.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's the whole point, right? I think all of us leave a little bit elevated after this call. So
Totally.
yeah, that's why we do it. Me and Nicole look forward to it. I'm like, you ready? Please tell me you're coming.
I know. And then afterwards, we're like, oh my gosh, did you feel that?
Right? Susan, this is the first time I'm seeing you here. Yay. Welcome. We're just doing a
Oh,
quick.
it's great to be here. I've been meaning, you always have that back of your mind, I got to do this, but then something comes up. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been with Spirit Calling, maybe what brought you to the portal, and we're just doing a quick
I think,
intro.
Pam, I've been here since kind of the beginning, haven't I? Just kind of in and out, and like so many, everyone here, we're all on a spiritual journey, and it's just really important to be with like-minded people along that same journey. And basically, what I do is, we've made negative choices that create blocks and restrictions toward our ascension, and I'm able then to go in and help you uncover maybe what some of those are. Soul doesn't want to tell you everything at one time; that'd be too much, but. Basically, that's about
Awesome.
me.
I love
Wonderful.
it.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Dina,
Hi guys.
hi.
Hi.
How are you? So yeah, I guess it's almost a year. It'll be a year in July that I've been with Spirit Calling. And it's been a journey and it's been an amazing journey. And this community has been awesome because it is safe. It is, as Susan said, like-minded people who are open to new ideas and expanding. And there's nothing you can say that is not safe. Like people are just so supportive here, which is what we want the portal to be. So I'm just thrilled to be here and love our little 5D Fridays.
Yes.
Yay.
Well said. Thank you. I appreciate that because that is important for people to
Yeah.
be heard on
Yeah.
how they're feeling, and they matter. So I think that's really awesome for you to bring that up. And that's the safe space that Spirit Calling provides. So thank you, Pamela, for that. All right,
Because
my
it can
friend,
be
it's your
isolating,
time.
right? Like
What's that?
journey can be so
Mhm.
isolating because you think
Yeah.
like who you think you're going a little nutso, but so this is a great place where we can
And it's
all
also sometimes shocking to people that are they ready for what you are going through and to sharing, and you want to talk to somebody
yeah.
that can be open and encouraging what you're experiencing versus them looking at you like, yeah, I don't know what you're saying. You're a little nuts. So
Yeah, they get that look in their
I
eyes
know how
like,
that feels.
Yeah, like the side
and you're
eye.
like, shout it from the rooftops. You're like, I want to tell everybody what I know. And
Seriously.
they're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
true.
I'm so happy to see everyone's faces here. Amanda, Susan, I haven't seen you guys in a while, so it make me so happy to see you. Thank you for coming. Um, to anyone who's watching live or on the recording, I'm Pamela Downs. I'm the founder of Spirit Calling. So I've been with Spirit Calling since 2020, when I received my download to create a safe space for humankind, a place where they can be supported and explore their spiritual awakening journey. There's a little noise in the background, so I hope it's not coming through. Yeah, so this is to be able to witness all of these little beautiful faces on the Zoom screen right now makes my heart fill up, and it's just the beginning. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for coming, and anyone who's watching, stay for the conversation if you're just interested, because you have no idea where this is going to go. And you, as they said, you're going to be vibrating super high by the end of this hour.
Yes, definitely. Well, I want to address something that I thought was really exciting that has happened in the community. And I hope you don't mind sharing your experience a little bit. But Pamela and Dina have connected for the first time or second time in person?
First time.
The first time in person. So I
Mhm.
find that super exciting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would love for you guys to share about how that felt to meet. And you also saw Lee, the channeler of the Z's. I
Yeah.
would love to just hear a little bit about how you experienced that. That must have been amazing.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of dip around. I have something I want to
Yeah.
share personally later too about what you guys feel about kind of the law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
But maybe that's a little bit about what this is about too, because Pamela,
Mhm.
that's what you do. So it's like you
Yeah,
track that
absolutely.
energy.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. So where do we start, Dee?
I think we start
The
with
day,
the day I called you and said we have to get these tickets. And it was
yeah.
just, I mean, we all being in this community, we get, different emails and so forth. And my office is in Boulder, Colorado. I mean, I live in Atlanta, but my office is there. So I go back and forth. So one day I'm sitting here and it pops up that Lee's doing his love tour. And I was all of a sudden I couldn't work. I just like in my head it was like look it up, and that I know I got to do it. So I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, they're gonna be at the Boulder Theater. So I called Pamela. I'm like, Pamela, Lee's gonna be at the Boulder Theater. This is because we were trying to find a place to meet. We thought Asheville, we were thinking all these places. I'm like, it's Boulder. We have to go to Boulder to see Lee. She's like, let's do it. So she gets online and she's like, oh my God, it's selling out. I'm like, just get tickets, get two. And then I'm like, get four. And she's like, there's only one set of four left. So she got four because we knew we had some friends that might want to go. And from there, it just was easy. Then we got the last hotel room with like two double beds at this beautiful resort we wanted to stay. Like everything just flowed. And so we did that like what, 3 months before? And then last week
Probably, yeah.
we're like, oh my God, we're gonna meet. And
We're gonna meet for the first time.
and I said to her, and she can finish the story, but I said to her when right after we ordered those tickets, I said, I was meditating. I said, we're going to see Lee in the hotel
Wow.
and we're going to be close to him. And she said, oh, I hope so. And she's like, I said, I don't know if he's staying there, but it's the nicest hotel in Boulder. So maybe, maybe not. And she said, okay, I hope so. And that's where we left it. And then
Yeah.
fast forward, she's on the plane and she texts me.
Yeah, so I'm on the plane and I started meditating. And this whole trip to Boulder is so significant because there were other draws that were happening. There were people that we've been channeling about. There were like knowings of shifts happening. There were coming together of a group of people. There were all these things that the council was channeling for us, she and I. And when those four seats were the only four seats together available in the whole theater, it was like, get them fast. Like we were like, we knew because it was so unusual, and everything just effortlessly aligned. When I was on the plane, I was just saying to the guides, you know, just please allow everything to flow as it's supposed to, with ease, like all these things that we've been feeling, just please, you know, let them all happen. Let the person that we're meeting feel intuited by this information. Let this contrast happen so that they understand the vibration of what spirit calling is and what the council is and what the Z's are. Because the guides told me I'm very aligned to the frequency of Lee Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Our sensibilities are very similar. He's an artist, a musician, and a singer. So am I.
Mm.
So our energy, he is an exact like example
Yeah.
of what I could be, of what I am being, of what I have started to create. So there was so much guidance around that. So I'm on the plane, and I never prepare myself with, like, David's always downloading episodes and shows and things, and I never do that. So I'm always looking at my videos or listening to my energy readings. And I decided to meditate, and I'm talking to the council, and I just see this image of Lee Harris walking past me on my left, and he's wearing a white t-shirt, like a white shirt. And so I was like, okay. And then I'm meditating again, and I see him on a stage, and I see myself, and there's like a tunnel, and we're talking to each other, and the guides are showing me this, and then they start talking through me, talking to him, basically telling me what I should ask my question or what I should talk to him about. So I meet Dina, she walks in the hotel, and it's like unbelievable. Like, I almost was crying. It was just unbelievable, because she and I have been the best of friends since we met almost a year ago. And we're just hugging and hugging. And did we go anywhere? No, we went in the room, and we're just talking and talking and talking and intermingling, as we call it. And then we met her boss's wife, who has become a really good friend of ours, who I was meeting also for the first time. We're all involved in each other's energy. We are just in conversation. Every time they come to ask us to order dinner, we're not ready yet, because we haven't even looked at the menu. Next thing I know, Jody looks over and she goes, Lee Harris is sitting right there. And I turned to my left. I looked at him in the eyes, and I turned to my right. And there he was, sitting in a white shirt,
No.
in a white V-neck t-shirt, looking at me. And this energy went through my whole body, and none of us could talk.
We
were like, it was like, you know, it was like Elvis Presley was
and
in
he
the
was
building.
staring right at
it was
us.
like
He was
crazy.
looking right, like it wasn't his back. He was like,
no, he was sitting right at us. Yeah.
Did
There
you
was a
guys
round table.
wave? You're like, hi.
we played
No,
it
we were
cool.
all starstruck. We were starstruck. And then after Jody left first, and Dina and I were like, should we stay? Should we go? Should we have coffee? Should we go? What should we do? Because we wanted to talk to him, because I had seen that. The next day at the theater,
I have a question.
was,
Did you tell Dina about your vision, about talking
Yes.
to him? Oh, so you already had told her that before. Okay.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I said, I know, I saw it too a while ago. Like, and she's like, I
Yep.
just saw it too. And then, but
Yep.
literally, it was a table of 8 or 10 people, and none of us noticed it until I think I came back from the bathroom, and Jody looked at me and she goes, "Is that Lee Harris?"
Yeah, we had no idea they
We were
walked
like-
in the room, and there were only us. It was us and this other table, no one else.
And we were
But I want
carrying
to tell
on.
you, we were carrying on. And so, Nicole, this is what happened, Nicole. You and I are talking about what our future relationship is with music, and marrying voice with music. That was our conversation last week, was it not?
Okay.
I walk into the Boulder Theater, and what was that guy's name? Devar?
DeVol or something like
DeVol.
that. He's from
Lee
Romania.
Harris comes out. There's a keyboard and a chair, and a stool and a microphone. That's it. Lee Harris comes out. He's at the mic. Davul comes out. He's at the keyboard. They talk about their relationship, and the music starts, and I just start crying like a baby. I couldn't keep the tears from going. And the woman next to me gives me a tissue, and she was like, I know it's affecting me too. And the whole time I'm hearing the guide say, this is what you're doing, this is what you're to do, this is, and they told me, when they were showing me what I was talking to Lee Harris about, they were showing me, saying, this is the future. You are bringing in the future by experiencing this event. This is the future. It's like amplification. So don't you know, he says, everyone, this is the second night of my tour. The first night was in LA. When I go into a new city, there's a theme. The theme in LA was yes or no. What are you going to decide? The theme in Boulder was, we're bringing in the future versions of our
No.
work and ourselves. I just couldn't, I mean,
We couldn't believe it.
it was incredible. So I don't want to take up the whole time, but very quickly,
But we
he
also
did his
said he's
channeling.
going to call on you. We both saw him calling.
We saw him calling on us, on me. And so he did meditation, a bringing in the future meditation. That was amazing. He played songs, he sang, his voice is amazing. He sounds
Wow.
like the guy from Tears for Fears. He's just
Oh yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
this
Very
amazing voice.
clear.
So at the end, he said, I'm going to ask questions to the audience, 3 questions. In my mind, I'm like, 3 questions? This theater's filled with people, like 3 questions? So there were 3 sections. He chose 1 from the left, 1 from the middle, and then my arm was like, like I was like a 10-year-old. And he goes, and let me see, you. And I went, I turned around and I was like, me? And he was like, yeah, you. She doesn't believe it. And everyone started laughing. And then when it came to my turn, the whole time Dina's like, I'm like, Dina, I don't know what to say. My
You're like,
stage fright
get up
thing.
with me. Get up with me. I'm like, you got this. You got this.
I'm like, you ask the question, Dina, you ask it. She's like, we were supposed to be quiet. There's a show going on. And she's like, like, we're trying not to make a noise. So he's like, you. And I'm like, okay. So I get the microphone, I stand up and I said, I saw you. I saw you at the restaurant. I saw you in meditation sitting next to me or standing next to me or something. And I said that you sat next to me in the restaurant wearing a white shirt. And he's like, I did wear a white shirt. Like he was laughing and being really funny. And then I said, I followed you since you started your career. And I followed him back in 2008, 2012, back when I was waking up. And he and Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I've been following you since you started. And I always knew that I was going to do what you do one day. And the audience went, you could hear like, oh, like you could hear like this like murmur.
It was
cascade
weird
across
because
the audience.
everyone else just asked
They
general
locked
questions.
in.
It was like all sound went.
Like
And
had a
the tunnel.
tonality of like it shifted.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I was like, I lost my peripheral vision other than Pamela and him. And she did too.
Mhm.
Like it was like this weird tunnel thing.
Tunnel.
Here's the
It
picture.
was a tunnel.
This is Pamela.
I thought I actually saw a stream. I see it though.
I have
Wow.
to post it. But I'm like,
Isn't it
get a
cool?
picture.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I said to him, in 2020, I received a download. I said, I've been channeling since 2020. I've been channeling the Great Council of Light. In 2020, I received a download to create a portal for humankind to support them through their spiritual awakening journey. I've had visions of what it will be. I have built it. I've begged, borrowed, and done it all to build this platform, this space. It's launched. It's been alive for 6 months. And I want to know. I thought he was going to channel the Z's. I didn't know I was going to like
Which
hear
was a
from
learning
Lee
for us.
Harris. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to know if you see what I see. I want to know if I'm on the right path. I want to know. And he looked at me and he said, I said, the portal is much like yours. It's a space that's very similar to yours. And I do what I do what you do. I'm similar to you. And he said, the portal is you. And I said, yeah, like when he said that, I was like, I know, because I've been having these realizations that wherever I am is where the portal is. The community is just like a container for us to be together.
Yes.
And through this, launch of my new TV show on the Ethereal Network and everything, it's like I've had that realization absolutely recently. And he said, you're dealing with some self-doubt. You've got the last pieces of self-doubt that from your childhood or wherever it's from, and you need to heal that, because wherever you are is where the portal is. You are the portal. Do you understand that? And I said, yeah. And he said, I see your guides. I see your guides. I see all your people. It's all great. Like, it's all really good. He's like, it's you. It's you. And I was like, yes, I know. Like, I know. He goes, it's good. You just have to, what did he say, Dina? You just have to heal this this last part, doubting yourself.
And lean into it. And just keep leaning into it and do it and release that self-doubt. Which is all I needed to hear. And then I was like, okay.
Right. Right. And the whole weekend was about that. The whole weekend was about that. there was a person that we were meeting that was instrumental in something in the future, like a huge experience that happened. And it was pivotal. A pivotal moment happened where I needed to step out of doubt and channel live in front of a group of people that I've never
Met before.
I just met. Like a group of people I had to sit and channel, like Abraham Hicks, like Lee Harris, not typing and reading a message that I received, channeling like live. And it was Dina and I practiced in the hotel.
We did the hotel
And
first.
we did the hotel first, and all this was making so much noise. And we were like, if somebody's walking past us in the hallway, they'd be like, what is going on in that room? Like it was crazy.
Because a lot of people
And
came
then
through with very vocal
a lot of stuff came.
messages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these maids are going to think, what the heck is going on?
What's going on? And then when we got to this person's house, who, by the way, like the energy, everything shifted in me, in this couple, in Dina, in spirit calling, in my work, like everything just amplified. Everything is different. It's unbelievable. And I channeled, and there were questions asked, and it was the beginning of the future, guys.
It was beautiful.
We just opened up the future, which is amazing. And Nicole, all I could think about was, when are we making our album? When are we doing? I cannot wait. Like it was just a river of tears. It
all came together.
So
like
emotional.
We saw it all. Like we got
we saw it all.
We got back and it was late, and Pamela was tired, and everyone was tired, and everyone's like, oh yeah. And everyone was thinking maybe we just not do it
another time.
So Pamela goes to the bathroom, and I'm like, hey guys, how tired are you? Because I'm going to make Pamela chew. They're like, we're wide awake. So Pamela comes out, and I had the chair, and I'm like, sit.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to kill you.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we sat down, and it was beautiful because I knew there were two things happening. I was like, I'm either going to hear in my head all night, do it now, because I kept hearing, do it now, do it now. You must do it now. And it was in my head. And I'm like, I'm either going to have to hear that all night in my head, or I'm going to have to hear Pamela bitching about, I should have just done it. I should have just done it. I should have just done it. Why didn't you make me do it? So I chose the guides, and I said, sit down. And it was beautiful. She did great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was hard. Yeah, thank you. It was challenging, but it was amazing. And I'm so happy. And everything is different. I can't explain it. There's been an up leveling. It's incredible. Everything is different. I am a different person. My vibration is different. Everything is different. The Ethereal Network launches this week. It's the future, guys.
Yeah.
That's great.
My
incredible.
vibration is different.
I love
vibrations different.
Are different.
I love that level of like that shift. Like you just took the quantum leap. You know?
Felt it. We all felt it.
That's
And
so
we all are
awesome.
still feeling it, you know,
Mhm.
and we always knew music was a part in Nicole and her beautiful music. And that we did learn about, we would do Lee's show a little differently. We've already like reconstructed it and redone it. Cause I'm like, I want to hear from Lee when you ask questions. I want to hear from the Z's. And Pamela's like, yeah, I want to hear from the Z's. I'm like, so I'm sorry, but no one's people, if they ask questions, it's the council, right? Like that's who people want to hear from.
Yeah.
So we learned. And then I asked them, the guides, I'm like, why did you have us specifically go to Lee? And it was about the relationship between him and the people. And it was the vibration of his personality with Pamela's. And it was to see the flow, because it was
you and I
energetically aligned with what we should do.
Yeah. And you and I.
And you and I
are going to be doing it together.
Dialogue. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting because he said he's an authentic, kind, loving person, the same energy as Pamela and I and Nicole and all of you. There are a lot of people to see, but specifically, and then the music. He played a little too much music, we all agreed, but
yeah,
we got the point.
But the music is huge.
The energy.
Because I don't know if everybody knows this, but I'm a singer too.
Yeah.
And my voice is extremely strong and powerful. And I've always known, I retired from my band. I retired from all of that. And because I knew I needed to fully be, I knew my music's going to be part of my spiritual life. I don't know if it's curtain, I don't know what it is, but it's something. And I can't wait to discover it because I've been wanting to sing and play and do all my things. There's no time for it right now.
Well, that's great. I'm
So
so
that-
glad because I feel like
yeah.
you just projected into the portal, like what
Totally.
they hear what Spirit Calling
It was
has
so-
shifted to,
yeah.
because you now have taken that step and now are going to be presenting this new version
Mhm.
of who you are. So
Mhm.
I thank
It's
you for
pivotal.
taking that
And you know
opportunity.
what else
You're
is
welcome.
interesting? You know, when we were channeling in the room, just me and Pamela, the guide said, you know, you will get together with your friends. Pamela needs to lean into her music and she will play the piano.
Mhm.
Turns out they have a big grand piano.
That's exactly what happened.
And then I said, oh, so well, Pamela, she should play. Yes, she should play. She should play. And I said, by herself. And no, he will, our friend of ours. And I didn't even know he played. And he said he will play the guitar. And so we go over and she just goes to the piano like naturally and starts playing. And the next thing you know, he's walking out with the guitar. And I'm like,
Two guitars. Two guitars.
Yeah.
Two guitars. Not just guitars, two beautiful Taylor guitars. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, and he's got one, I have one. And I mean, it was like we found old soul family people. It's incredible. We're still,
Yeah.
it's just incredible.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that ease into it and the vibration, that them showing me this safe space, it all just led to me being able to channel. And so I'm supposed to be doing the live channeling on the ethereal network. So it's all, you know, that's
it's
what's
a
going to
build-up,
bring
yeah.
the people and all the things.
We will
Um,
continue to practice each week because then
We're
we
doing
both
it
get
later.
better. Yeah.
Great. I'm glad that the
Yes.
gift has connected with you two to be partners in that, because I think that a lot of channelers have usually some type of person monitoring the session. Is that correct?
Yeah, or kind of
Correct.
somehow holding the space. I don't know.
Holding the
It's
space for
still
it.
unfolding, but
Yeah.
it made
That's
it
what
very
Esther
clear.
did, right? With her
Yes.
husband.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
she
yeah.
brought in
Jerry.
Abraham. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but the actual day that I was always a full owner of Spirit Calling, but the day that I regained full ownership back is the day that Dina said, I'm leaving this corporate job. I am done. I want to find something that's purposeful. I need more. I need more meaning in my life. I need something. And she walked away from her job on the same day,
Same day.
7/17,
I've never
which
done
is a
that in my
significant
life.
more. So it's just, you know, it's incredible. And then I met her.
Yeah.
So let that be an inspiration to
Yes,
all.
lean in.
Lean in.
Lean
And
in.
just
And
sharing the flow state of when something is right and when you make that shift. Does
Mm-hmm.
anybody else want to share something that maybe has happened to them like that?
Something just came up for me that I wanted to share and link with Amanda on this, and wondering if your piano playing has come up in your mind since we've been having this conversation. Because Amanda is, do you want to tell them what your background is? I don't even know if people know, but she is music
Tell
all
me.
over.
Yeah, I was excuse me, I was a piano major in college. And then I kind of stopped doing that and then went into like piano teaching. But like, and then I was a choir kid, like all the way through college. Like that's music's been my whole life.
oh,
Something
wow.
Nicole and I connect pretty deeply on too.
That's awesome. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that. I'm
chills.
so glad to
But
see
she
you
needs a
today.
piano in her life now because she hasn't had one in a while. And I feel like just bringing it all out again through just music is a huge, I think, chord through a lot of us, because
Really
that is
Yes,
the
for
future,
sure.
and bringing the geometric patterns that music holds to allow ascension to continue on this rapid ripple of awakening. So music is just so important.
It just raises
It's so
everything. And it's just,
The keyboard.
I did, but it was like 66 keys, so I gave it away. But my
You know,
grandmother.
then there's people like me who appreciate people like you. My dad was head of our music department, and my sister was a beautiful vocalist, and so was my brother. And my younger sister plays in the city band in her clarinet. And me, I took piano lessons all my life, and flute and guitar, and I can't. We are not a match. But I think I joined my family just to appreciate music even though
Yes.
that's not
Yeah.
my forte, but I
Mhm.
tried.
Yeah, but you have appreciation. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's
That's what
huge.
my dad gave me, appreciation.
Yeah.
Appreciation for the classics. And I remember the very first time that Elvis Presley was on the Ed Sullivan Show, and we had this on there, and my dad and my mom were watching it, and my sister, we're just 18 months apart. We're going, oh, wow, wow. My dad was saying, oh my God, this is awful. Anyway,
And you guys were like, give me more. What is this stuff?
It's Elvis.
I love that. Yeah, that's incredible. But music is a thread through your family.
well, it
And
is. It's a thread through our
yeah.
family.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, that's amazing. I love hearing everybody's music stories. It's so cool.
I sang in the choir pretty much since like
Mhm. Oh, that's
the
right.
fourth,
That's
fifth
right.
grade, and then the chorus, and I love music too. I mean, I'm mostly a singer, and then my husband is like just randomly gifted at playing like the most like the didgeridoo. Like he self-taught, circular breathes, plays like
Oh, wow.
those flutes, like the what do you call them? The ones like from the
The Native American
Spanish
flute.
cultures, the Native Americans, and he's picked up.
Oh, yeah. Those are beautiful.
They're amazing. They're like
amazing.
double sounds. And then and it's funny, the most random people like give away their didgeridoo that they thought that they could play to him, or some a flute the other day at Mom's Organics. They're like, would you like this flute? And then Brian just picks it up and plays it because they could just not figure it
I
out.
wish
So
I had
it's,
that attraction gift.
yes, it's so fun. And Nicole and Brian chat all the time because they're both like interested in the same type of instruments. And I just get a kick out of like just
Yeah.
observing like you, Susan. I'm like, I can't do that. I feel like
You've
I'm
been saying you've been
15-year-old.
wanting to get into singing more often, though, so that is
I
something.
did.
Yes.
I didn't have my
Yeah.
throat chakra was like blocked forever. So I feel like
Yeah.
actually I feel pretty good. Actually, I feel like it's coming out. So gotta
I'm
find
glad. Because listen, when we have our retreat, which we are going to have, and I
Yes.
rent that house, wherever that is in the mountains, you're all coming. You bring your instruments. I'll rent a piano or a keyboard, or I'll make sure the house has a piano
Listen.
or something. Yeah. And you can listen, Susan, or everybody will have a space doing something, but it
Yeah.
will be in
Come
the energy
along.
of each other.
Just
we can just
contribute.
dance, you know? Just
Yeah.
Mhm.
get into it.
Yes.
Well, it was
Yes.
funny because
Amen.
For
we
sure.
have you guys ever seen one of those? It's like it's a round thing and you just tap on it and it
Yeah,
just
the hand pan.
Hand
hand
pan.
pan.
Ham
Brian
pan.
plays that too.
He had
Yes,
that
of course
on
he
Instantly a
does.
stage.
musician. Everyone sounds good when you play it.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
you have
I,
a hand pan?
No, I need one. I have a
Who?
steel tongue drum.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
okay. It's
Some
a
other
cool
things.
I thought
thing.
of-
But yeah. Amanda,
I
what were you
thought of
gonna
you.
say?
Sorry, go ahead.
Were you gonna
Go
say
ahead, Amanda.
something?
Oh no, I was taking my earpods out because they kept slipping out of my ears.
Oh, sorry.
And Madeline, do you play the I know you guys went to a drumming event, but we have also the djembe. I've been getting pretty good at those and just getting the rhythms because that's just what happens when we end up meeting up with some people that like do some sweat lodges. They just start getting out the drums at the end and it's just a lot of
Oh
fun.
gosh.
I was
But I don't
actually
know if
just
anyone here has
invited.
drums. Bring those with
We
us.
regularly we have in our community a gong ceremony with drums and gongs, and one of my friends plays in it. And there was going to be one last night, but a storm ended up happening. But it's in the most beautiful places in nature, so you're really just playing to nature, which I've actually just been listening to and learning about how really crucial it is in creating and continue our future is the nature, of course, but sharing the music with nature alone, just revamping that energy, if you will, and returning it to nature. So when we have these regular sound ceremonies in nature, it's just like the most oneness harmony you could ever feel. It's just so
Probably like
awesome.
the trees are probably like, yes, we love
Oh,
you.
that's
Yeah, the
Exactly.
trees are like totally in
Trees are
it.
dancing.
They're like swaying along, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
Snow
cool.
White.
Exactly,
Oh my gosh.
exactly.
hmm
It's
Okay.
it's magical, and music just elevates the vibration. It was so funny. I was on the plane on the way to Boulder, and I discovered I don't know. I discovered, I don't know how, but Lenny Kravitz has a new album out and he has a song called I Am Human. And it's just like this most upbeat, great song. And I must have been on the plane, like I was like meditating, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I had like 5 people off the plane. They're like, your energy is amazing. Like, what were you listening to? And I was like, and it was just such a good song. Like it's just so like uplifting.
You were just
Yeah,
the
you were.
radio tower, just radiating so much energy,
Yeah.
just being yourself in that moment for others to pick up that role model.
I
You just
was.
shifted their energy, just being yourself.
Yeah,
Just
I was just
Yeah,
like
but
totally
yeah,
into
but
it. And I was like, I don't
so
think I was,
yeah,
I
and
hope I wasn't singing out loud.
no, but in your head you were dancing with Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
I
And
know
I was
you were
like
like,
moving and I was like tapping my legs and people were just like, and I didn't know, but like 5 people on the way out were like, what were you listening to?
That's
Like,
awesome.
So
I want
good.
what she's having. Like that. I'm like, oh. I was like,
It's like Sally when Harry met Sally.
yeah,
I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
it was good.
Isn't that why we're here? To
Yes.
be among other people raising our vibration, and whether they feel it, whether they realize it or not. So that's
Yep.
what I've kind of come to the conclusion is just our beingness, just be that higher vibration.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, and you're making me remember something. I was on a podcast this week, and this woman said, "I kind of feel like everybody is a part of a symphony. Everyone has their own vibration. They're an instrument, and so together we're making this like beautiful, rich sound. That's
Ah,
cool, Susan.
I
Right?
love
That's
that.
neat.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You just reminded me of that.
I
That
love
is
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
me
what
too.
sound
That's
are you bringing
awesome.
to the orchestra? It also kind of keeps
Hmm.
you in tune with where's your vibration at? Are
Yeah,
you playing with the orchestra or are you playing against the orchestra, let's say?
yeah.
Out of
Ooh,
tune.
I
Yeah,
love that. Right. It's
it's so
awesome.
true. I love that. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
That
Yes,
is
for
it's
sure.
beautiful.
That
And
was
I've
fun.
been wanting to say something for a little bit now that's kind of like on the tip of my tongue, but I feel like kind of just ties a lot of this together. I feel a lot of us, now that we're talking about bringing the future in and all these really important things, can feel very isolating, let's say, because not everyone's doing this yet. And we have this knowledge that's not everyone's ready to hear yet. And that's a big like responsibility that can be
Hmm.
make you feel just like lost at times. Like, what really is my purpose if I have all this information, but I can't do anything with it yet? And I've just been really just learning and remembering how we are holding this information as the transmitters because someone needs to hold the frequency for it to happen in the physical. So a lot of
Yes.
us are given this responsibility to hold that vibration, even though not everyone's ready to hear it, the planet's not ready to feel it, but it has to come in somewhere. And so we are often gifted this information to be these beacons of light so that we can allow it to happen on the physical for the planet to catch up, if
Yeah.
you will, because someone needs to hold
Yes.
it. And I think a lot of us feel that in these creations we're having and these visions and futures that we're wanting to bring to the people, but we're not really sure where it fits because it doesn't exist yet, which is
Mhm.
absolutely amazing in itself that we're on this track. But we're on this together and we feel it together, even though we feel so alone. And I just really wanted to like hit on that because we are creating so much right now. Even me this week, I have had huge downloads of where my website's shifting and what I want to bring to the people. I'm getting emotional now
Mm,
just
I just
because
love her.
I just feel there is a need right now,
Mhm.
this connection to just feel, to not
Yeah.
get so distracted. And so for
Mhm.
me to be able to feel into what that is, and I've been attracting into my path just things that I didn't even think of that were going to happen because I'm seeing this and I'm showing up for myself. And so to be able to bring people meditations or sound healings or just things to just kind of shift the energy, you don't have to understand it like we were talking about. You're feeling it, you're shifting within regardless. And a lot of us have this gift to share, but we do need to show up for ourselves, which is the hardest part because it seems so alone and daunting, but at the same time, it's so important. But yeah, that's
And
what
Yeah.
I
that
wanted to
showing
share.
up is when you said showing up, that is what is so significant. I had a reading. I went to a spirit fair this weekend and I was telling her, I just feel so oftentimes insignificant. And she just grinned at me and she said, that's because they don't relate to your vibration
Mm.
and
Mhm.
you're on a different level and they
Mhm.
don't see you. That's how I felt. No one sees me. Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah.
And she said,
Hmm.
Say it all
it's
the time.
just they can't see you. they're on a different vibrational length. And so I thought that was an interesting observation.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
makes
I love
Can
it.
sense.
really 100% relate to
Absolutely.
you.
That's very true.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
Can I
just
also
Yeah.
share
don't get it.
something?
Yes.
No, of course.
That related, kind of like what Nicole was saying, but it's a little different. Like, I shared with, I think, her and Pamela that I felt like I was finally getting out of like the thick current of the ocean because I had a rough beginning of the year. And I was like, I'm out of it. Yay. And then I got slammed with this like terrible sciatica. I still kind of have it too. And it was excruciating and it went all the way up my spine, down my legs. And I had
Ugh.
just had dinner at my mother and father's house for Father's Day. My mom, as I think we shared last time, my mom is having severe sciatica and back pain and all sorts of stuff. Maybe possibly took on that energy.
Mhm.
But as I'm dealing with this, I had to be you can't be any more present when you have this pain that's running through your body. There's nothing else you can do. You just want to alleviate that. But you know what it did? It really allowed me to have sympathy, so much sympathy for the people that are going through that. And I almost had to learn that lesson through my body. And I feel
Right.
like I've gone through this past year, all these things are lessons that I haven't quite completed yet. Just like the doubt that you were
Mhm.
talking about, Pamela. It's like these are
Mhm.
all things that haven't been ready to let go or having to face. And I really had an understanding of how badly it must be and to just be supportive of your family members,
Mhm.
even when I'm not feeling heard, like you said, Susan, by my parents. They're just on different wavelengths. They don't see me,
Mhm.
they hear me, but it goes in through one ear and out the other. But really all it matters is that we can hold space and love one another. And I have to learn these lessons that way. So while I am still improving, I thought that was so interesting because it laid me out. But the only thing I could be was present and do what I had to do for my body and really connect with it. I started doing, I did a sigh meditation. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with sighing, but it was different levels of sighing. And it was a guided meditation. And the first one was 10 breaths or 10 sighs of frustration, how that feels like, ah. And so we started with frustration.
Ah.
And then we led to, there was one other one. It led to like resistance. And then it shifted to the higher vibration, to relief, to elation. And then I was like, I'm
Ooh.
so grateful that I'm going to be okay, that I just had to experience it. So it went from what was frustrating, because there were things frustrating me, and I was able to let go of those lower levels of frequency or whatever that was in me. And it was so powerful. And then I journaled about it and I did feel a difference. So it allowed me to do some of the work that I wasn't maybe doing too. So
Mhm. Mhm.
sometimes these things are purposeful.
Yeah.
They
Everything
are.
that I've done in I'm Susan, I don't know if you do hypnotherapy or something similar, but a lot of times I've been told that our higher selves put ourselves in these positions because they're not listening. So we're gonna break their leg or they're gonna do something like this so they can focus on the work that they need to do.
Yeah. Literally
I
make them
don't do
physically sick.
hypnotherapy.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No, it's more
Rather than
just
in
reading
fear.
your Akashic records is what I do.
Oh,
I
okay.
read
Oh,
what
that's
your
great.
soul is ready to heal.
Got it.
Nicole.
Nicole, did you say something?
Oh yeah, I was just saying, I don't know what I said.
I will tell.
Oh
Go
yeah,
ahead.
that our spirit guides and higher selves don't often know what it's like to be in a physical body. And sometimes they'll give us things that overload the system because they don't know really what your body can take, and it will make us feel uncomfortable or sick or in disease, or they can literally make us feel sick or uncomfortable. So you physically move to get out of that space rather than going through the fear route. So there is like a couple things going on there that can be
Yeah.
happening. But yeah, it's very cool.
It's
Yeah.
wild. It's funny you say that, Nicole, because I've never had sciatica and I think I have it. And it's just painful. Like
It's
it
so
goes down your
painful.
back all the way through like your leg. And I've never had it. And I have one leg that I have no hip socket. So I have a limp. So I have one good leg and I'm getting it in my good leg.
Mm.
I'm like, this must be happening to just slow me down. Like Pamela heard me bitching about it all weekend. I was like, "Ah, my thigh, my legs are-"
No, you didn't bitch
I'm
about it all
curious
weekend.
though, do we know people that are really into meridian lines and know? Because Megan, my wife, has sciatica, and I've been dealing with sciatica my whole life. But right now, I know a lot of people with sciatica
Maybe
pain.
the
Like, what
sciatica
does
is
this
a
correlate
listen.
to? And like other things. That's what
The
I'm
one thing
curious
I
about.
can, the one thing I can tell you too, well, so I immediately started doing like self-myofascial, like tissue work.
Yeah.
So you can get in your hip socket with like a lacrosse ball or base, some kind of ball if you can. Tennis ball
Okay.
is okay, but you really want to get in there, and even your quad, if you have like some kind of rolling pin or
Rolling.
stick, start doing that as much as possible. If you have a chiropractor, acupuncturist, like those are all essential right now because
I
I'm
was thinking
already,
acupuncture.
yeah,
it is
I'm
Isn't it
considering that
weird how
too.
it's popping up? Like,
that's what I'm saying. What is this related to on a spiritual level, like on a
yeah, because
higher
I've never.
connected level? Because all of us are going through this. I
And you
find
guys
that
are
interesting.
young.
I've had
Like,
it my whole life. I've always had
really?
sciatica issues. Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Well, I know the hips are your resistance to move forward. The hips, the knees, the ankles, there's something there.
Mm,
But
interesting.
it
That's a
could be
good
that
one.
we are also making shifts and we have to deal with things that we haven't let go yet.
Mm-hmm.
But mine came on like suddenly. It was
Yeah,
like
mine too.
out of nowhere. And it was painful. It was so painful. Like it was just the constant strain, like the glute muscles would not relax. And I'm like, I can't sleep. I couldn't sleep. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So I really kind of appreciated how much feeling good feels like. Like, wow, how grateful I normally feel. Because how I feel now is a horrible thing. And it's
Yeah.
debilitating. It can be debilitating if your sacrum's out, which mine was. So you might be out of alignment too, Dina.
Oh,
I
I'm
mean, if
sure
your
I'm out of
one
alignment.
socket is out, I don't know if you see,
You're
I
out
don't
of alignment, Dina.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's no way I walk with a limp, so I am probably, even if someone aligns me, as soon as I start walking, I'm out because it's the way
Your
I'm
body's off balance.
off balance. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have one leg longer than the other?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
that's why. Yeah.
And it
Okay.
causes back pain. And I'm sure like, but my right leg's been so amazing. So it made me really like, I've been very grateful. I've been thanking my right leg. I'm like, I never realized how great you were. Thank you. Like, don't do
Yeah,
it anymore.
we do
Pamela,
have to
maybe you
remember
can
the power of the voice and to
maybe you
speak it
can
into
call
being.
onto the guides later and ask about what's this sciatica.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What it sounds like
Okay.
to me is that we need to pay more attention to the physical for what's to
Yeah.
come. Like there's something coming, I don't know. And we really need to address some of the areas that we're holding tension,
Tension.
resistance.
Yeah, from moving
Yeah,
forward.
I can do that
Yeah.
for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And I wanted to tell you, Nicole, that I spoke with my brother yesterday,
Hmm.
had a long conversation, and it's very interesting to watch. For those of you who don't know, my brother had a liver transplant
Oh,
like
wow.
a week and a half ago.
Hmm.
So his vibration has risen because this organ that was dead basically is taken out of his body. And so his frequency has shifted. So no longer does he have the vibration of alcohol in his body. That's all elevating him. And now he's not as in dis-ease as he was, but he's looking at things differently, and he's listening to the sound healing.
Oh,
He's listening to it all the time. I had a custom sound healing made for him in the frequency of a liver to revive his liver. So that's number one, is that happened, Nicole.
I love that.
And is
So
it going to go off
cool.
the
Did it go
bubble?
up?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, so funny.
Mine's gonna go up. No, it didn't do it.
Watch, if you do this, like I think something happens because but then a perspective. He's like, I'm understanding. He's like, it's so weird. I'm in, and I'm not putting anything down because everything works for everybody differently. But he's like, he's like, I've been going to AA meetings, or it's like I feel like it's a continuation of putting energy into alcohol every day. So we're going and we're talking about this control that alcohol has on us, and we're talking about alcohol, and we're talking about a control that alcohol has, and then we're talking about alcohol. So it's like we're just fueling that state of being constantly. He's like, I don't think I'm supposed to do that. He's like, I've been listening to the sound healings. I want to, start doing this and do. I told him all these different things to look at and to start like learning and visiting. My screen's changing. Sorry, but isn't that interesting? So that
That is so
frequency,
amazing. Yeah.
So cool.
I know, that continual
Beautiful.
frequency. Mm-hmm.
Attracting now
Very
his
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I also been having a lot of, I talked about it, I posted about grace. Grace is a big one. I think grace and compassion are what you're talking about, Danielle, with regards to, understanding someone else's pain. And our bodies are amazing. So when we are in a state that's a well state of being, and we're not, and we can see the difference, we really do appreciate
Yeah, absolutely. I was just
our
going to say
wellness.
that I wanted to follow up from what you said about the AA meetings too. I heard there's like a missing step to it all too. Like they
Mm.
kind of keep you in this cycle to keep you in there too. I mean, again, that was something that just, I don't know, I heard it somewhere.
Interesting.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of people that are in those meetings struggle with it, and it's this constant struggle rather than allowing that ability to let go of
Heal,
that, let
move,
go of this
move on.
control.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I never looked at it that way. So it took my baby brother, who had a liver transplant, to open my eyes to that. Of course,
Yeah.
I see that now. I understand that. I thought that was just fascinating.
Yeah.
So
That's
Thanks
great.
for
Thank you for
sharing.
sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
We've got like 7 minutes, right? 8 minutes. Does anybody want to like share anything that they've been dying to share that hasn't? Madeline, anything you want to say today? Or are we just listening?
Here she comes.
I'm just listening for the most part.
Okay.
Don't really have much anything I can think of to share.
That's fine. Thanks for holding
Okay,
space
that's
for
good.
us too and listening.
No problem.
So as I was going through some of this shifts, as I told you, being in pain and stuff, before that though, I got really motivated again to like, I got out of survival and I was ready to start my practices again. Cause for some reason I couldn't even take that step. I was just like, okay.
Um,
And I whipped out my numerology book.
ooh,
And the
love
one
that.
was the law of the higher will. That was a practice for my number 8. I don't know if any of you guys know what your number is, but what's your number? Are you a 5, Pamela?
I
All
think
right,
I'm
let's
a
go around.
7.
Who's who? All right, Pamela's a 5.
I think I'm a 7.
7.
I'm an 8.
You're an 8 too?
How do you do it
Mhm.
again?
You take your birthday and like you start to add up all the numbers in the year too.
Yeah. Okay.
Pamela,
I'll have
or
to do that again. Maybe I'll have to do that again and see. It's been
yeah,
a long time.
I got to
um,
do it again.
Nicole,
I think
what's yours?
I'm a 9.
You're 9. Oh, that's right. We talked about it, I think. Madeline,
Yeah.
do you know? And Amanda, do you know what your number is?
I'm a
I
6.
know is it a life path number? I know I'm a life path 3.
Yes. Cool.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of 3s in my charts all over, for sure.
A lot of
And what's
3s.
funny is I've always been resistant to odd numbers. That's just weird thing about me. I'm just like even, only, until like
Mhm.
I got to a certain time in my life where I understood numerology and geometry and stuff. And I was like, I just got to flow with 3. And then I realized how often it was applying to my life. It wasn't even funny. It was like everywhere. It's 3s. Everything is in 3s, 3s. I was like, all right, forget that. Just got to flow.
Yeah, gotta flow. Well, the cool thing is I always like the number 8, and for my podcast, 5 or not 5D all day, the conscious broadcast, I use as my logo as an infinity, which is a sideways 8, and I'm like, oh wow, subconsciously I picked that, right? And I got back into it because I was reading a kind of heavy book on like bloodlines, and so I'm like, I need to get back into like, something positive, a little bit of like information here and positive information there. And I started reading, and number 8 in this book is abundance and power. And I thought that was really great. And I know some of the struggles with 8s is the ability to control, wanting to have control, and like the materialism of money, or just issues around money, which is, interestingly enough, yes, I've had issues with money in the sense of like I hated money for years. And then I noticed with the law of attraction too, I was like, the lack of not wanting it, I was drawing in the lack for many years. And I learned
Right.
that from Abraham Hicks. So I
Yeah.
was just pulling this out, and it was great because it brought in other areas to work on, like the law of the higher will can remind 8s of the bigger picture and show them how to best use material success as a means to a positive difference in the world. And applying this law reduces 8s the tendency towards self-sabotage. So I just started reading that, And then it's so amazing because it gives you this idea, it takes you out of like feeling, right? Being like this, I don't want to say victim, but kind of a little bit of a victim mindset when you're kind of in the struggle, right? Or you're dealing with something, you're trying to relieve it. And it kind of pulls you out of like your smaller self into like really allowing the connection of the higher self and how to create this abundance that it's already there already, which I already know that. It's just knowing that how to look at things a little bit differently. Because sometimes, and I really have applied that, like, even though there might not be like a lump sum of this currency, right, in front of me, I know that I can flow with that higher currency if I want to.
Yeah.
And so I just don't know how you guys connect with your numerology. If we want to wrap up with a few things, if you've ever done it, or how you connect with law of attraction. But that was one other than the fact that you guys created such flow state with Lee.
I know.
Something that I want to continue working on for myself personally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm a 7. I couldn't remember. I'm a 7. And my
Yeah.
life. Yeah. But I love the numerology, but it does always, when you read it, it's like it's so true, and you find yourself that you've been doing these things all along.
Mhm.
It's so bizarre. And then you compare it to somebody who's a 3 or a 2 and it fits them. It's truly remarkable. And I think everything in the world is, there's numbers. Like if you think the 12 zodiacs, the 12 apostles, the 12 months, like there is numbers that are considered sacred numbers or numbers that have meaning. And so I think there's a lot of meaning in numbers that we haven't even uncovered yet.
I totally agree.
I watched a show
Absolutely.
on the numbers, and
Did
just
you?
I think it was on the number 12, and it was like how 12 has shown up through all of the ages, ancient ages, and things like that, and just the meaning behind it. Like who picked 12?
Yeah.
What's amazing to me is what I've learned with 12 is when you look at 12 circles going up like this, kind of like a chakra,
Yeah.
it's the 13th that goes around all of them that creates the event horizon that then starts over again, the new 12, and then
Oh
the
my
13th
gosh.
event horizon, and
Oh,
then the new 12,
wow.
and then forever infinite. But everything is a new shift, if you will. And so everything is just like a level of the game, kind of.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
favorite
Totally
way to
agree
look
with
at
that.
it.
And that's the same thing with what the calendar really is. It really should be 13.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting how we don't quite really have all the answers to that. I mean, it's coming out in bits and pieces, and we're all kind of trying to, uncover it. And I think this stuff is coming out, and it's so interesting and fascinating to look at it from a different lens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
think
just
it
go
really
watch
is
Billy
a,
Carson.
Oh, Billy
Yes.
Just go
Carson
listen
is
to
so
Billy
amazing.
Carson.
yeah.
First of all, can we just give Billy Carson a round of
Yay.
applause, please? He's on the
I love Billy Carson.
DMP. What the frick is that podcast? DMB, PMB. It's like totally mainstream podcast that like everybody's watching right now. He was just on Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
He has been on so many mainstream podcasts lately. And
so
I'm like,
great.
yes, Billy. I'm so
So
happy for
good.
him because I'm telling you, he is like he's a walking encyclopedia. Like
Encyclopedia.
he knows everything,
He's
and
amazing.
he's amazing.
He's
So if you want to know about 12s, you ask him. He'll tell you.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you don't
no,
know who
he knows
Billy Carson
everything.
is, look him up. He has
Yeah.
an Anunnaki podcast
Yes.
too.
Forbidden knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from
Yeah, I think he has
Incredible,
a new
forbidden knowledge.
show.
yeah, his new show. He's on
Yeah.
Gaia. If any of you guys subscribe to
Yeah.
Gaia, that's how I found who he was.
Mhm.
They're just he's a fascinating, like I said, he's on Joe Rogan, so just go on his podcast. I think a lot of us probably have watched it. If not, I highly recommend. It's a long one, but to blow Joe Rogan away with the knowledge that he
Yeah.
has, and really they pull everything up to, if they have a question, they'll actually pull up to make sure if he's accurate or not. And sure,
Uh-huh.
Oh, really?
oh yeah, they'll pull
Yeah.
up on the slide. Like if he'll say something, Joe's like, look this up. And he has like a whole crew that will look up to see if it's valid or not.
His
Yeah,
vibration is so
his
high.
podcast is Forbidden Knowledge. I couldn't remember the
Forbidden
name.
knowledge is him. Yeah.
Okay.
But I will listen
But
to the
he's
Joe
like
Rogan.
he's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's
Um,
amazing. And it makes so much sense when he explains it,
Mhm.
how he pulls it all together.
Yeah.
It goes
Mhm.
back thousands of years, and then it's just
Mhm.
fascinating.
He
So
goes back to the Anunnaki. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't really I've done my Enneagram, I've done my numerology, I've done so many things through the years, and I know that I'm a 5, And I mean, the Enneagram, I think I'm a different number. I don't know. But you know, there's been so many different personality tests and for my business world and all my business groups and everything and disc assessment, like, you know, like so many, like, what am I? I don't know, but I am, you know, multifaceted, and I definitely have the way the programming that I have in my soul body that keeps coming back. And I was telling somebody on a podcast, I did a lot of podcasts this week. I was telling somebody that they were like, well, why do you do this? Or how come like you keep doing it? I'm like, because I know that I have come back all of these lifetimes to do this work. And like, I know that I'm supposed to do it what am I supposed to say? No, I don't feel like doing it this lifetime. I'll skip this lifetime. I'll do it the next one. Right. And so it's all programmed into who we are.
It's so neat that you say that,
multifaceted.
right? Yeah. There's like no turning back. And I think Susan, like earlier when you're like, I just am not seen, you can't go back to like playing ignorant, you know, that you don't
No.
have this information or you feel
Right.
this way. It's a frequency and it's just, that's it, you know? And I think that's what Pamela, you can't turn back. It's already there. They've already tapped in and they're going to keep nudging you anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's amazing. My crazy word means amazing.
Right.
Mm-mm. Yes.
So true.
You all are so amazing. Well, it's at the end of the summer. And I am
How did that
was an awesome conversation, first of all. And I'm so glad to hear the story of your trip. And thanks for sharing just what we had to do today. We kind of jumped around, but it all kind of tied nice together. So I want to thank you guys for joining today. And Pamela, if there's anything.
I loved it. Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I missed you and Amanda. I was so happy to see your faces. Yeah, and I'll just close by saying that for you guys as also, and for anyone who's watching, I have a new show launching on the Ethereal Network. It's a new spiritual TV network, and it's called Divine Wisdom. It was channeled. I was told to call it Divine Wisdom, and it's going to be, you know, sending out messages of guidance for individuals who need guidance, for people who just need channel messages or have questions, for energy updates, monthly updates, global updates, different things like that. So it kind of encompasses all of those things. And it's launching, the network is launching by the end of the month. And there's all kinds of people and all kinds of different shows. It's like a Gaia sort of, but they want it to be live streaming in phase 2. So that'll be cool.
So
how do we find that?
That's huge.
It's on etherealtv.net, ETHEREALTV.net. So they're just in the launching phases. They're just starting to put out some programming in chunks and batches so that they don't overwhelm the system. And I'm in there. It says coming soon. I recorded 4 episodes and they're pretty cool.
Very cool.
And it's Spirit Calling, right?
It's Spirit Calling's channel, and the first show being launched on our channel is Divine Wisdom. The second one I'm hoping is going to be 5D all day, baby.
Oh yeah,
5D all
yeah, we
day
can talk
with
about
host
that.
Danielle
That would
Kane.
be really excited. Yeah,
yeah.
She knows what I want to do. So I really
think it
enjoy
would be
it.
great.
I love hearing
She's
what you all
supposed to
have to
do it.
say. And like I said, does everybody feel a little bit better coming on the call and then leaving? Just
Always.
like, yeah,
Always. No, it's
always.
amazing.
Always. So it's etherealtv.net, you said?
Yep, etherealtv.net.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks again.
Go and check it out.
Go and check it out.
Guys.
You guys can see this recording soon. Pamela, we'll talk about who's uploading it. If you want me to do it, I can do it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks,
all right,
guys.
everybody.
Have a lovely
Bye,
week.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next month.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Dancing.
I don't have that
Bye.
feature.
I can't do it either.
Have to
Bye-bye.
set it.